All right, it appears to be live, and I think I'll do my usual test to make sure, just to be considerate to the audience. That's what it is. It's all for you. I do these stupid, annoying, irritating things. Yeah, that sounds like me. So, okay, we're close enough. This should be working. So I actually have something else to talk to besides me, and it's from some place like Denmark or something, and it might have something to say about who the person is. His name is Anus, which is kind of fun, right? And but that's in other places, that's a really cool thing. All right, it really isn't good anywhere. But anyway, I guess it must mean something else. Okay, so that's the language thing, right? Brains have to communicate in all these different languages and these different life experiences. And so obviously, I mean, that's a pretty significant difference between two people. Is somebody growing up thinking anus is a good thing, and people growing up thinking, no, anus is smelly. I don't like anuses.
Yeah,
But
I've kind of mixed feelings on anuses per se, because they're a possible source of pleasure.
well, I mean, yeah, but it's such a tiny, tiny source compared to all of its negative potential. It has so
But you
much
have to
negative potential that even though now and then it has a little cute smiley face, I'd still rather cut the whole thing off and just say,
a
fuck
cute
it.
smiley
And
face.
let's not even bother doing anuses and poo and all that crap because it just seems to me to be a smelly mess that I don't need. I can live without it, frankly.
Yeah, but sure, I think it's easy enough to compartmentalize, right? You can uh, have it in a have a time for it to be smelly and messy and all that, and there's the part, you
Oh,
just
fuck it.
take
No,
out some
no, no,
time.
no. It's just too much trouble. That's like saying, oh, I'll find the Trump silver lining or something. No, 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 no.
Okay,
Couldn't be
but
bothered.
now you have, but
Just
now you have,
cut it, get rid of it. I don't want it. I don't care about the tiny marginal blah, blah, whatever. Like I said, its good features are so minor compared to its shitty features. Shitty.
yeah, exactly.
Okay. So anyway,
I mean, I don't, yeah, I don't agree wholeheartedly, but I agree to the wordplay, shitty features, and uh, yeah, anuses.
well, the
Anal
funny
sex
part
is
is,
better than vaginal sex. Challenge me on that. I mean, from the consequences, right? From possible consequences.
I'll end up challenging you on everything. So this is the ironic part. This guy is anal as fuck. So every sentence will be examined in some sort of preposterous lengths. Okay, every contextual word placement will be examined because he is an anus. It really is funny that it works out that way.
Yeah, it
All
does.
right. Okay. So anyway, so you have anything that you need to feel you need to tell people just so they know something about who you are, where you're hatched, what kind of blah blah blah, what kind of
Um,
chicken you are, so to speak.
well, now I can hear myself on your end. Did you change the audio settings?
No. It's being
Okay, never
again,
mind.
but I think it'll be okay. It's minor feedback if it exists.
So, what I'm all about, I don't quite know yet, right? The only thing I do know is that I'm terrified of getting caught up in something that's just not repairable anymore, right? That's foobar enough. I'm actually surprised you know that word and use it, because you're actually usually pretty averse to any kind of youth speak. So the first time I heard you say it, um, speaking of words, I heard you say 3 times over the course of hundreds of hours. How come you can make so many videos about things that are essentially relevant and use the word fractal only 3 times over the course of those hundreds of hours? That's insanely irresponsible.
We'll see again. I don't think so because the word is just too abusable. Okay, fractal is just a unicorn word. Everybody just
Yeah,
turns it into something magical.
yeah, but
Magical fractal is going to come to save us. I'm surprised it isn't an X-Men character. Fractal man. And he
um,
has all kinds of magic powers. So yes, I'm averse
It
to the
kind of
word.
does have magic powers. Have you seen animation and its progress?
Yeah, well, it doesn't. Well, frankly, I don't think the progress is all that outstanding, to tell you the truth. But um, regardless, it's still, in my opinion, a more dangerous word than it is good, in the sense that it just leads to people with all kinds of phantasmagorical notions about how the universe is simple, and it's not
Yeah,
that.
I get it. I get
It's
it.
not a fucking crackle.
Um, would you at least agree that the universe is not donut shaped, is not a flat disk, but instead some kind of shape of that's akin to a fractal?
No.
Really?
No, I would argue if I had to pick, I would just
Yeah.
go, is it square or is it round? Okay, it's round. Sphere makes more sense. So let's go with that.
Okay.
It's a
Uh,
bubble, a bubble universe, because it's certain amount of symmetry about the cosmic background radiation. You sort of say, I don't really buy this idiotic argument that cosmic background radiation was stuck in locations, and when the universe expanded, the cosmic background universe, stayed where it was. It didn't expand. Everything else
it
expanded, but
couldn't expand, right? Because the claim was space itself was created along with the Big Bang, because uh, that's how
that's
that's how you
retarded.
make it make sense, right?
No, I'm
To
sorry, it's
confine
retarded.
it.
I'm just saying it's retarded. I'm saying that's a retarded theory, in my opinion.
Okay. Well, I'm open-ish to it. Also, I'm kind of shedding my several indoctrinations at this moment, as are you probably. Um,
I'm all done with that.
really,
Oh
wow.
yeah, yeah. No, I haven't
So
been. I haven't
admirable.
been surprised.
You're basically Dr. Manhattan.
Well,
Wow.
I'm just saying I haven't been really informed by anything in 20 years. I mean, nothing has surprised me or something. Oh shit, I didn't realize kind of statement. I mean, there just
Um,
isn't any surprises anymore.
well, I kind of felt the same way uh, about your videos in the beginning, right? There's nothing new. It's also obvious what he's saying. Why are people even opposing this? But I think the devil's in the details, right? And even if you've got a great overview of what you're summarizing when you say something or when you think about something, I think shedding the light in the crevices or in the cracks and necks and croonies. What's it called? Whatever.
Cracks and
Um,
crevices would be okay, I suppose, or
yeah,
cracks and anuses.
yeah, something like that. Uh, so the devil's in the detail always, right? So I've listened to you and I've kind of discovered bridges between points I already fixed in my head. The obvious stuff like the golden rule, etc., etc. And the cruelty being overwhelming compared to the positives in the universe, etc. So those are fixed points, but the in-betweens, there's still room for cognitive dissonance in my, uh, you know, work in progress brain, and I actually can't believe that you consider yourself finished in that regard, because again, there's still devils, there's still details.
No, I don't. I don't believe in devils, and I don't think the universe is more complicated than as I've explained it. I mean, in the sense that yes, you can find complexity in evolution, but the idea of evolution is as simple as dirt. I mean, it's
I
error
agree.
code. You can explain it in 5 minutes. No
Yeah, but
need,
I mean,
no need for
they're discovering new
details.
bugs every day.
Details are superfluous to understanding what it is conceptually. The concepts are simple. Absolutely, details are meaningless rubbish. I don't
Uh,
need to understand a
while
million.
that might be true, even if it is
Wait.
that it's the exact.
Stop. Just before you go on a whole speech, somebody says there's still a bad echo on
Okay, from
on
whose
the
end?
guests. The guest is echoing. Um, I don't know. I guess I could try to verify that, but I don't know if it's worth the trouble. I mean, I can't trust the commenters. They aren't idiots.
Yeah, because on my end it actually stopped. As soon as I addressed it, one sentence later it was gone. The echo, for me at least.
All right, let me just see.
Do we have a chat?
Yes,
Right. So,
but you have to go to the actual page of the video and then mute.
Okay, got it.
So if you go to the page of the video and then mute that video,
Yeah,
or I mean, just pause that video. There's a chat
yeah.
window, and you can actually pop it out if you want to into a little separate window.
Oh, someone's saying no echo.
All right, yeah, I just
Got
tested it. It sounds fine. So the other person is an idiot.
They're probably just late because they're experiencing the stream later than we are.
Well, I'm just saying they're idiots, but yes, true.
That's another thing we disagree on. I'm not that quick to write something off, but yeah, we'll get to that probably.
All right, well, let's get to a bigger issue than arguing the simplicity of evolution, because I think you're going to lose that argument entirely. I mean, there's absolutely no reason to need to know any of the details of evolution to understand. It's replicating error code. That's simple. Errors are what is and it's just dumb fucking luck that decides the fate of organisms. It's just not that complicated. You don't need any damn details, and I don't know how you could possibly argue for details as being anything enlightening. How does a single detail of evolution enlighten you on the concept of how it is a replicating DNA molecule that has no brain and that there is essentially no structure to the evolution?
I don't think I even wanted to drag this into the evolution argument, because I probably completely agree on that. Replicating error code, understood. No details being of relevance in that process, I agree.
Okay, good. No, that's it then. Okay, let's stop there and move on.
But I'll have to drag it from evolution to another thing, and it's the interaction between human minds, right? There's that's a whole different problem, right? That's where details matter. Like, for example, where is new evidence to be found that someone, for example, cheated the system or cheated the court, or that's where details actually do matter. And I think the people's adherence to God ideas or any expression of factor X is exactly that: the fear that new evidence might pop up if you stop looking in a certain direction.
I would argue that doesn't have anything to do with details. It just has to do with problems require solutions that are going to be more complicated than poofy God. Okay, the simple answer isn't going to be the right answer in terms of solving a problem. The easy thing. Oh, let's tax let's cut all the taxes and spend more money, right? I mean, people will vote for that. You put it on the ballot, cut my taxes, but give me more welfare. They'll vote for it. Okay, they're that stupid. So I'm just saying that's not a problem with details. That's a problem with, just reality denial. I mean, not even coming close to understanding that there's no free lunch and you actually have to make lunch. Okay, somebody has to buy this stuff and you have to put the slices of bread together and you have to make the sandwiches. There's just no free sandwiches going to pop out of the universe.
But I was actually addressing the source of the people's fear, right? They want to drag some God idea into it to fix their actual lack of details.
No, it's just a habit. Religion's just a bad habit. Most people born atheists, let's say, are born in some sort of rational environment. Only a tiny percentage find Jesus. Okay, so frankly, your people are just born into it, like they're born into baseball or born into soccer or born into some other bad habit. It's just a bad habit that happens to be addictive, like candy. It's a really simple answer. I don't have to worry. God did it. I don't have to take responsibility. God's killing the animals. God's torturing other people. God made him have leukemia. I didn't do it.
Yeah, that's a big part. I didn't do it. Like, we conflate this word responsibility and the word responsibility, right? That's kind of a problem. But
I only know one form of the word, so I guess I don't get the irony of the joke.
Really? well, who's responsible for this, right? And who's responsible for fixing this? Who's responsible for this happening? Who's responsible for this, for fixing this? That's, it's.
I guess it was always obvious to me that if you're standing somewhere with a dustpan and a mop, and there's a mess, that you're supposed to clean it up. We have the power to fix it. Like poverty or something. We clearly have the power to do something about it. I'm not saying we give money to poor people for nothing. I mean, we have to encourage them to be productive, and we have to have some obligation to explain to people that you cannot just suck blood from the society and everybody say, yay, thank you for just sucking the society's blood. But the idea that we could make this so much better is obvious. And, and so, yes, obviously, it's not even, it's almost like it's almost so obvious that I shouldn't even have to say it's our responsibility, because it's just so obviously it's right in front of us. Okay. It's a car wreck happening right in front of us. It's an old lady walking across the street and there's traffic and we're watching instead of doing. I mean, that's obvious.
Yeah. But the problem is, why? There's
people are selfish, dumb cunts. That's why.
Yeah, but they don't perceive themselves as such usually.
That's right. That's why I have to keep saying it over and over again. It's because they're not getting it. I have to keep saying, you're a dumb cunt. You're a dumb.
Yeah, that works on people who are open to that idea.
Find a new asshole to hit over the head and say, you're a fucking asshole.
Yeah, but that works on people like me who are open to the idea or who got opened up slowly to it.
It would work on everybody else. If I got a chance to punch them in the face, it would work. Okay, I just don't have the opportunity to force them to listen to me for 10 fucking minutes. If I could force them to listen for 10 fucking minutes, I can do my job.
As you might expect, I'm going ahead and complicating this in my head, or rather, from your perspective, it's complicating. For me, it's just being thorough. Okay.
I understand. I have accepted your tendency to analyze, and I like it. I like that you're paying attention. That's very good. So go ahead, pay some more attention.
All right, I'll pay up. I want to do this from the reverse angle. Like I want to reverse engineer, right? That's why this whole anality or analness is even there. I want to reverse engineer. So start with the solution, like you did many times. I'd argue a little simply, whatever, or not workingly or not appropriately for the time. Maybe 30, 40 years ago, your solutions would have worked, but I guess in my vision, they leave too much room for the crooks and the cheats to crook and cheat. And the problem is usually, again, I'll start to reverse engineer. What can we do? What's not futile, what's not flawed enough so that it wouldn't work over the course of over time.
Well, let me just see if I can cut to the chase a little bit. Let's say we both agree that the only solution is persuasion.
Yes.
Okay.
That's exactly.
Yeah. All right. So I would argue to you that this is one form of my persuasion. Yes. I've tried other forms. So I did a thing called Vloggerdome. There's other people who take clips from my videos and make very romantic and nice videos out of what I say. Yeah. So it's not like I do one thing where I say, you're a dumb cunt, I'm going to force you to realize it. I'm also doing other things that are more genteel and try to, because I understand every single person I'm talking to is a different person. And one speech isn't going to mean anything, right? I mean, Martin Luther King can say, judge a man based on the content of his character, not the color of his skin. And some people will hear something like, what do you mean I'm not supposed to pay attention to the fact that you're a nig, or something like, I mean, they don't get any of it. You know what I mean? It just goes swoosh right over their freaking heads.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm just saying that, everybody it has to be explained. Some people, you could have a conversation about slavery and, be kind of rational, just like, oh yeah, that was a really bad habit, just based on some, scapegoating and nonsense. And yes, we grew up. And other people will try to come up with rationalizations and no, it's part of the whole, it's part of our genetic heritage. And this is what white people have to do. It's this keep the goats and, they have, the lions have to control the goats,
Okay, there's a point. Persuasion is key, but and you can't force consensus. That's two essences I just dragged out of this. So the second one,
the word consensus. Look, I'll say that I tend to be a believer in democracy. If I can cheat it myself, I will, because I don't have any respect for it intrinsically. Okay, I mean, I just want the right answer. I don't care how to get to it. So I'm going to cheat it. If I get a chance to break the social contract and press the red button, I'm pressing it, because fuck everybody else. They're idiots. I know that. Okay, they're right. I'm wrong. I'm right, and they're wrong. And it's just that simple. So I can't help but believe that, and I believe it more than I believe in any kind of notion of populist opinion polls. I mean, opinion polls are not the truth. So democracy, fuck it in the ass unless I need it. Okay, if I need it, keep it. And when I don't need it, fuck it. But I'm just saying that, yes, we could agree that the idea is a democracy, but consensus, I'm not looking for consensus. I don't mind killing slave owners. Okay, I don't really mind. I don't mind killing Nazis. I don't mind killing lots of shit. So I want a war. All right. So if we can get to 50-50, then let's just have the Civil War, and I'll kill the fuck out of them.
Okay. I want war too, but a different interpretation of it. Wow, this takes so much time to form in my head. I can't even begin. So
I'll give you a chance.
You choose to stop thinking about others at one point, right? At some point, I still try to force. You can't force consensus on the outside, right? You don't have the time, the power, the resources. You can force consensus on the inside, because you can gain a lot of speed inside here, right? So try to find, I guess, forcing consensus on the inside is interpreting everything you hear from the retards and idiots in the most charitable manner, steel man the fuck out of it, and put yourself in the weakest position possible and go from there. So, there's this way you can mind palace yourself into a good enough answer for both of you, right? That's what I'm looking for. And if you get this faux or this fake consensus, you can actually construct something from there, even if you have to take their if you have to take into account teenage girls freaking out over not getting a certain handbag, right? That level of detail, I think, is actually required.
I'm just saying, from a strategic point of view, okay, it's like if this was chess or something, you can go with the gimmick move, okay, where you set somebody up to look like you're doing the blah blah strategy, and you're really going to do the whammo strategy, where you're going to do you're going to do something totally unthinkably bizarre, it's totally going to fuck the game. So you can, and I would sort of analogize this overthinking thing, in the sense of trying to feel their retardedness and then say, I know what it is to be retarded, and I know it'll work on a retard.
Yeah, exactly. Retards.
Well, I'm just saying, I put it in this category of like veganism, right? I mean, veganism, they think they're a solution when they haven't even come close to recognizing the problem, right? They're not even
it's way bigger.
Near the problem yet. And they have solved, if we just stop human beings from farting, everything will be fine. No, that's not going to be enough, okay? It's just not going to be enough.
Yesterday on a very well-known anonymous image board, I made that exact point, right? It's a drop in the ocean, veganism. And
I'm just saying, yes, compared to millions of years of torture that's already taken place to pay for our stupid existence, even that can't be justified, right? We've already cost so fucking much.
Yeah.
You know, and oh well, what we did, we cleaned up this tiny little puddle of vomit. Well, that's one puddle of vomit. You know how much vomit is on Earth? I mean, it's a ton of it, for fuck's sake.
Oh, yeah, it's I can't but laugh in some sort of humility or apparent futility or seeming futility. Um,
Well, all I'm saying is I want to go with the frontal attack. I want to go right up open and say,
yeah.
look, my objective is to get you to understand, not to mimic being a good human. I want you to actually understand good human.
Oh,
Okay.
see, that's where I'm different. I over time, you're probably correct, right? But if they keep mimicking good behavior over time, over all time, I don't mind. I
Well,
don't
well,
care.
look, I'll agree with you in the sense that if I can pacify them enough where they're not actually picking up a gun and pointing at me, then I
Yeah.
can shoot them really easy. Okay, so they'll be easy to get rid of.
And you don't see the problem there?
They'll be nice dead weight when it
Yeah.
comes to the real war. I'll be able to get them out of the way really easy, just because they're going to be the loose cannon, right? They're going to be the cannon that's going to fuck the game. So I'll cut that cannon loose, you know, when it's time to really start the war.
Are you operating with that statement? Are you operating under the golden rule? So you got to understand, you're opening the door up for them to.
Yeah, no, it's the golden rule, but on the big picture, right? I mean, we're really talking about the fact that you're not going to have a free lunch. Okay, there's no way to have a free lunch. There's no solution to that's going to actually work. All right, in my opinion, there's no strategy that works that gets you to the goal. Okay, where nobody gets kicked in the nuts. So that's not going to happen. So in my opinion, yes, it becomes a strategy of expedience. And the fact is, if I can kill one guy to stop the birth of 1,000 babies, I'm killing them.
Okay. Yeah, there's again the factor X thing. What about the future? What about
Well, that's the whole point. The future is this gigantic thing, right? And the present is this tiny thing. So if I can kill, like, say there's one human being that still has smallpox or something, right? And I have a choice, right? I could send him to the moon, okay, so no one else can ever get smallpox ever again, or I can let him infect the rest of the human population. Yeah, I'm sending him to the fucking moon.
That's kind of yeah, in my opinion, it's short-sighted.
How so?
Well, you're ideologically opening the door, even if you can, if you want to do that, and then there's suddenly a possibility to have everyone act under the golden
There's
rule.
no possibilities. I'm saying you've already figured out that there's no. I just pointed out the confines of the scenario. Is there's no other solution. There's no free lunch solution. There's no perfect solution. It's going to require a cost, okay? And the cost is either one guy now or 1 million people later. All right. I mean, I can kill Hitler and end, prevent World War II. And the fact is, preventing World War II is a good thing, not a bad thing, right? In the sense that the whole world is all flowers and beautiful because we didn't do this war. So I'm not, don't give me a bunch of idiotic scenarios about how, well, we needed the Nazis because they prevented the double.
No.
I'm just saying that it's a clear division. One torture now, 1 million tortures in the future. Okay, I'm saying nobody logical sits there and says, I have to think about it. It's hey, I'm uncomfortable. That's just bullshit. You got a clear choice, 1 million to 1.
There's already people, I mean, you operate under this as well. You say there's already people on here, they're already addicted to life, and I want to accommodate them in some way, or at least give them enough time to, shed their addiction.
Yeah, I think I'm all for that. I've just explained how there's some people you talk more gentle to, and you drag them along with the, show them the stuff in the museum, and you go blah 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 blah. All this stuff is somehow important, and then there's other people you just get to the end of the book and you say, you get it. Okay, there's blood on the floor. People are dead. It sucks. Okay, you get it, right? I don't have to explain this to you, right? You get it. There's blood on the floor. I get it. Bad idea. Let's not do that.
I was right in the middle of there, right? You dragged me to your side not even completely, right? I'm still, you see me looking for excuses, right? I know I'm gonna end someday, but on a visceral level, I don't know that. And I can extrapolate it to many more people. they all don't end on a visceral level.
I'm just saying that I have the same discomfort. Don't get me wrong. The fact that I can say this shit so boldly is only because I've said it before. So I'm used to saying it, okay? But I'm just saying it's just like I'm used to saying I'm an asshole. I'm a selfish cunt. My brain is
I'm a selfish cunt. I can't say it often enough.
How can I get that baby in my bed? How can I do this? How can I mean, I'm a piece of shit. Basically, my brain is a scheming piece of shit. It just
especially if you're smart, right? Because then you have to suppress so much more power fantasy that you could actually act out. In your environment, you think. Every day you look at people and think, wow, I could control the fuck out of you if I just wiggled my little finger the right way, right? That's got to be taxing as shit. I mean, I'm fortunate enough to not be as smart as you. Let me compare, okay? You were 6 years old. You saw the world for more or less what it was, a pile of steaming cuntery and cheatery and fucktardedness.
Oh, yeah, a gambling casino. I saw it for a gambling casino, and I was like, why would I do anything? Why am I gambling anything? I'm not putting my penis on the fucking table. Fuck you. You can't have it. It's mine.
Let me lead with those movies where the main character thinks they're insane or they're on the verge of it, and then they suddenly realize everyone else is insane. That's how I felt about you, like the discovery of you. So let me get that off my chest, my fanboyishness. Okay, then, here's you with 6 years thinking, oh, what a crock of shit that nobody can think this is worth anything. And here I am on the timeline. If I parallel them out, I'm 12 years old and I make a word play on the word Allah, with Wallach, which means, I guess, a castrated horse. And I laugh my ass off because I was being disrespectful, right? That's how dumb I was compared to you over time, right? And since then, if that is any indication of smartness over time, since then you've gotten faster and faster smart, and I'm kind of catching up with a limping behind you. You're somewhere there 30 light years ahead, if that is any indication. But I have the other kind of smartness, which is taking retards into account. And I want to at least introduce it to you. I mean, I'm sorry, you're doing it every day, right? You're making arguments for the other side and destroying them. You're doing it every day, every second, probably. And that's why I don't. This isn't something new for you, but I've seen some effect when I played certain computer games with my friends, and one of them couldn't believe that me playing it for the third time would choose this strategy. It was so dumb. It was so idiotic. I would never get the idea, right? That was his idea. I would never get the idea to do this. So he had some kind of professional blinders on, right? And somebody needs to break that down. That's some kind of idiocy. You got to admit that.
Yes. I'm like I said, it's not like I'm not unaware. I'm not trying to make excuses for the fact that I am more expedient and more impatient, let's say, and more a lot of things than maybe would be best for this channel. So yes, okay. I say skanky cunt too much. I do lots of stuff I shouldn't do. I mean, I'm a feminist. I'm saying skanky cunt. I mean, that's just bullshit on its face, right? So yeah, there's lots of flaws in my presentation, but I will, in my own defense, say that yes, I've done this for so long. I've been in this war.
I know.
What seems like
just about to acknowledge it.
Fucking goddamn life. And so
I can't even imagine.
I'm tired, and it's so obvious to me. Again, the solution to the problem is so fucking simple. It's so 2 + 2 = 4 simple that part of me just, I just keep imagining through my head and like, why do I have to expend all this energy to explain 2 + 2 = fucking 4?
Uh, do you agree that there's a lot of redundancy in what you're doing?
There's a redundancy in every effort to elevate the mind of man. It takes badgering. You just have to badger them forever with the, you have to keep whacking them over the head. Look, somebody left a comment justifying slavery, right? I knew it was going to happen, right? As soon as I said the word slavery, he starts talking about how them black peoples was enslaving themselves for billions of years, and blah 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 blah. All these fucking insane rationalizations, and you're just saying this is what it takes. Though you got to just keep hitting this fucking obnoxious mole. He keeps popping his retard head up, and you have to keep hitting it, hitting it, hitting it. So yes, I'm redundant as fuck, not because I want to be, but because that's what moles require.
I am pretty much on the opposite spectrum of your same effort. I would argue. I try to in the shadows, right? Not doing videos, but in the shadows, do find the perfect way to, or the perfect collection of ways how to enforce this making life worth it thing. And yeah, I'm 30 years old now, and I just now found the courage, no pun intended, to get out and talk to, at least someone reasonable, right? You're reasonable, and I just now find the courage to do that. And I think I've got the right strategy, but I can't tell you quite yet because, you have to be tricky with those things. But the key thing is, if you want others to force, if you want to force out the honesty in others, do it in a way where you force it out of yourself, right? Where you take the most intimate and gut-wrenching shit and pull it out in front of others. And that's where I'm hoping to get at in this. For example, just randomly, right? I don't have to tell you this, but over years, I had a huge crush on my cousin. And it started, of course, when she was underage. This was totally unnecessary to tell you. And it was totally like risk loaded, useless risk, right? For me personally. I mean, it's not that big, of course, when I think about it, but it felt really big at the moment. It felt really big. I think there's a key somewhere in there, in this "it felt really big" concept. And I just got over with it. It doesn't hurt me. It's out there. And
well, I actually brought that up in a video recently, where I just talked about the fact that, I was going to sleep one night and I started thinking about all my humiliating moments, moments in life where you did something, just a mistake, just a oversight, some stupid thing.
I saw that.
And in a sense, you have this huge inhibition in actually, do I actually have to tell you what it was? Because it's just, that. I mean, it's bad enough I am badgering myself with it. I don't need the rest of the world to hold it over my head every time I say something. They'll say, "You fucking hypocrite! You know, who needs that shit?"
Fuck you, Gary. You up with everything I got.
It's not that I don't agree with you in the sense that, as I stated before, different people need a different way of connecting to what the words you're speaking are and hearing them. And so it's this whole "I feel your pain" kind of bullshit where, yes, depending on the audience, this will be a very good way of rubbing each other's heinies and getting all touchy-feely and, "Oh yeah, I had that too, and I know just what you're talking about," and blah 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 blah. I'm not saying drink tea with the tea drinkers, drink coffee with the coffee drinkers, drink cyanide with the cyanide drinkers. Do what you have to do, but I'm just saying, I'm just saying that's not real strategy. That's just pragmatic. This is the problem we have to address. Is there some people who speak a different language? Words mean something different in their language. They have totally different emphasis. The word good and bad in some languages doesn't mean anything, right? Because
I always leave it back to language.
Silver lining all the bads, and they have, compromised all the goods with some kind of ooh, well, we can't be too excited because there's always a price to pay. So they have some notion that there's all yin and yang and everything. Somehow yin and yang spells good. You know, when no, it doesn't spell that. It's yin and yang. It doesn't spell
yin and
good.
yang in its
Retards.
most basic function should probably spell good and bad, because if you declare yin and yang being good, you're kind of functionally nihilist. But no, I'm not.
Oh, I'm just saying this gets to the mathematics, right? I mean, I have no hope of explaining 2 + 2 if they think plus signs and minus signs are all the same. I mean, you know, there's no way I'm going to get them to 4 if they think it's 2 - 2.
Yeah, but you know what they think their problem is? They think you're too mathy. They're kind of math adverse, so they don't want to do math.
I'm not saying I don't diagnose them. I'm just pointing out that that's the real problem, is that we have all these different people, and some of the cement heads are really hard cement and some of them are easy cement. I'm just saying I'm going to whack at the easy ones. If you want to play with the hard ones, okay, if you want to go for the real retards, that's your prerogative. But I'm saying I'd rather just shoot them. Okay, they're just not worth the trouble. If I have to take 10 years to walk you through it, fuck it. I'd rather just shoot you.
You addressed an important topic there. The actual problem, or the most offensive problem to my sensibilities, is the problem that people are pretty finite, right? They're not actually prolonging their existence with further generations or breeding or anything. They're finite. And that's pretty much the problem, right? That's how you reinforce or reinstate ignorance, like by being finite and reproducing ignorance. And
okay, but we could say that's a more complex question, just because why we could ask the question, like all the educated people on Earth right now basically have stopped doing their evolutionary duty. Okay, they have negative population growth.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
They've sort of gotten it, especially the males. Okay, most of the males say, I don't want the burden, I don't want the responsibility, I don't want to play, kid.
Frankenstein, yeah.
Okay? And the women are the ones that really keep dragging the engine, because they keep doing this biological clock nonsense. And I have to have something to cuddle. It's just emotional rubbish. Right now, they can say it's biological and it's evolution, and I'm addicted to it, and I have to have it. I have to have baby cuddle. But that's all. We know that's horse shit, in the sense that that's like saying I have to rape women or something. No, I don't have to. I can do other things.
That's a nice analogy. Women. You should use that more often to accommodate the MRAE types. I'm sorry, I'm just using this buzzword, but it's actually way more complicated than that. I try to steer clear of buzzwords because, the buzzing in the words means unclear, dynamic, very dynamic, almost chaotic connotations, right? That's the buzzing, almost like in the universe. However, you should use that analogy more often. In my opinion, the
need
males and females do something equally retarded, but not the same retarded thing. And I think that's one way to show injustice, right? Whenever you have two groups that supposedly build one complete group, you should compose something that drags them down together, right? That doesn't drag on one, because people get caught up in the very argument they're hearing. So it's whenever you can pull both groups of a dichotomy, it's best, I think. An example would be what you just did, right? Men having to be rapey, women having to be reproductive-y. That's a great one, I would say.
Well, I'm just saying that obviously the society, it's a social meme that's defending this psychology. So it's reinforcing this rape is okay. So if the society kept telling me that rape was okay, then I might grow up thinking it's okay to rape women now and then. You see,
I'm at that spectrum.
it's not going to hurt her that much. It's not that big a deal. And you're going to say nice things while you're raping her. And, you know, as long as you do your raping in a nice way and you don't shit on her face or something or do something totally rude, you know, we could imagine a social meme that would say, yes, this is the way life is. Men are entitled to rape, blah, 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 blah. And we could all us men would be in agreement and we would play this game. So obviously societies have a huge role to play. So, and that's the funny part about the intelligent cultures, right? Is that in spite of the fact that the culture is screaming, have kids, we'll pay for it. All right, we'll subsidize it. We'll take care of you. We'll do this. We'll do that. We'll do everything possible to make managing your little monsters, being a Frankenstein. We'll give you the Frankenstein machine. We'll give you the fucking electrodes. We'll give you all this stuff for free so you can make your own little Frankenstein monster. And even though they're giving it away for free, people are saying, fuck you. I'm not playing Frankenstein. So they're figuring it out on their own in opposition to the social pressure. And the only ones who aren't doing that are the dumbest bitches in the country, right? The women with the lowest IQs are having the most kids. And we're all sitting here watching it happen. I mean, there was some bitch on the news the other day, right? Some murderer in Mexico comes into our country, right? And he has 6 kids with white trash, you know, and you're just saying, this shit shouldn't even happen. Why is our culture saying it's okay for some person to have 6 kids who has like a 58 IQ?
Yeah, because we haven't jumped that particular shark. I mean, shark from their point of view.
Well, we haven't
to be able to say,
no, we're just not.
Fuck you, having children is not a right.
I just want to say, no. It's not a we thing. It's the smart people don't have any courage, won't call the ignorant people out, won't call them retarded and stupid, won't say what they got to say, which is, damn it, we should take away your right to vote. Okay, you people are so fucking stupid. You shouldn't even have the goddamn right to vote because you don't have any responsibility. You don't give a fuck about understanding a single subject you vote on. You vote because the guy has fucking orange hair and you like the color. I mean, you're fucking retards. There's just not enough intellectuals who are standing up saying this isn't good enough. Our society is broken as fuck. We're way short of the fucking mark. And the only way we're going to do better is we got to get these assholes, these ignorant fucks, to up their game. Period. They gotta be better soldiers, or they got to get out of the fucking army.
I think there are ways the smart cowards are expressing exactly those things or other things they deem as unclear or misconceptions by their own admission or anything. It's usually art, right?
I'm talking about the ones that have relevance, okay? The ones who are the intellectuals, okay? The Noam Chomsky's, all those douchebags, plus then the celebrity types, the talk show types, all of the intellectualisms, whatever you want to call them, the little ivory tower motherfuckers. Those people say nothing, okay? They just,
I know.
One of them pops up now and then by pure accident, like a Jack Kevorkian, get on the news, and once he can start talking, he can start making a difference. But you know, the intellectual group, the club, okay, the ivory tower livers have done us no good at all.
I'd say, well, that actually kind of happens, right? In a somewhat strategic manner and somewhat cowardly, but yet expressive. I think that's called art. And
no, it's called selfish cunts. They're making a good living telling people what they want to hear, and they don't have the guts to tell them the truth. And so that's the hypocrisy of the game they're playing. It's just like the hypocrisy of all these jackasses, you know, these celebrities who get their trophy wife and then they fucking cheat on her and then they complain, oh, you caught me, and no, you know, and it's just so ironically idiotic. Well, why did you marry her in the first place, retard?
I barely have any real life experience, right? I spent most of my life in front of a screen, you could argue, or I guess, yeah, most of it is probably an overstatement, but tendentially, I've spent a lot of time in a calm room in front of a screen. how come I got these conclusions that I got, right, that are similar to yours? I mean, it's a chance game. It's a
Because it's
numbers
2
game.
plus 2. That's why. Because you're smart enough to add 2 plus 2. It really is that simple. No, it's so fucking. All you have to do is not have God, right? And then you say, well, what does life mean then? What was it made by? Oh, dumb forces, a bunch of error code, a bunch of incidental, accidental power, things that get elevated to a status just because they're having a good day versus the other guy had a bad day, blah, 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 hero worship nonsense. Yeah, I mean, you could just, I'm just saying, it's once you get rid of this notion of the default being, it must have been a purposeful, intentional creation, like he deliberately made the guy 8.5 feet tall with a big flat head with little knobs on the things and his green skin and his scars. You know, he deliberately did it that way. He deliberately made a Frankenstein. God actually deliberately put your anus, you know, right next to your sex organ. I mean, no.
And I'm thankful for that.
Well, I'm just saying that obviously, okay, if the default is just because, you know, no matter how hideous the monster is, it must be, you know, on purpose. Once you get rid of that default, 2 plus 2 becomes obvious.
2 plus 2, okay, so far so good. There's mechanisms like you're not allowed a 2, you're not allowed a plus. Those two can't talk to each other. What is 4 even?
Right, I know. I was just talking about you're reasonably intelligent. So what I'm saying is, for an intelligent person, the 2 plus 2 rises out of the fog quite easily. All right, right. But for people who still haven't recognized that they're a selfish cunt, you know, they haven't even recognized, hey, I noticed that all my thoughts are scheming. I'd double time my best friend if, you know, it means I get to fuck the better woman. And, you know, you know what I'm saying? I mean, they haven't done that yet. So without that step, okay, without having first cynicism about your own existence, you can't have legitimate cynicism about the rest of the world, right? So until you can call yourself an asshole, you really can't easily call the world or the universe an asshole. But I'm just saying, once you do call yourself an asshole, it becomes really easy to call the universe an asshole.
Some people don't do it on the outside, I guess. Are you? I don't know if everyone starts with calling themselves an asshole. I think some people start with calling others assholes, and some people start, you know, it's a position of power thing.
That just becomes part of their ego and their selfishness. So I'm just saying that becomes just a rationalization. It has no truth value. I'm saying once you call yourself an asshole, that's a huge barrier, okay, in terms of recognizing a truth. That's like a big giant ball of truth that falls on you, and you're stuck with that truth, and you say, all of a sudden, I know what truth means. I can tell the difference between lies and the truth now because I just felt what a truth feels like, and it was like this, you know, fucking 6-foot round dildo up my ass. So the truth means something, and I'm just saying that once you have respect for the truth, because it fucked you really hard and really badly, okay, then you go out into the world and you know what this is. You know what this weapon you're holding, that the truth, you know what it is now.
Wow, so many buzzwords. Respect is a kind of fear, right? It's fear plus righteousness or something?
No. No. Respect is understanding.
Nice. You're making my point for me. Don't you wish you could put this in a banner, this statement? It's a huge deal to recognize you're an asshole. Don't you wish you could put it like a bubble above your head? Every video you're making, like every video you're making, and there's this whole premise thing, there's this whole qualifier thing over your head floating, and you wouldn't have to say it.
And if you could change the you to my brain, okay, because really it's just one mechanism that's the asshole. You know, it's this stupid thing, you know, this programmed piece of crap that is manifested all this fucking, you know, I'm saying all this horse shit and doing all this horse shit, and I don't know where, you know what I'm saying? It comes from this invisible brain. You know, my brain did it. And I'm almost looking at it saying, Well, who qualified my brain to say a guy? You know, where did my brain come up with that? You know, where did you know? And you have to do all this analysis to even figure out. Oh, is that the part of me that's penis, or is that the part of me that's supposed to be an intellectual? You know, which one wrote that sentence?
Yeah, I think the series Mr. Robot put it very, very beautifully. Um, there's there's this guy. He's a main character. He's a hacker. He's uh, concocted this whole plan to bring down the economy so it can magically start in a better way, right? And there's he's got this split personality. One of it is his deceased father, and um, he's having first he's working together with his other personality and not even noticing that there's no one else but him in the room, right? um, and over time, over the next seasons, they start actually fighting each other because they get different ideas of what's the right thing to do, and they subvert each other, right? They always draw there's this scene where they play chess, and they actually have a draw every time they play, right? But actually, over time, it's probably more real that there's one guy winning this time, one guy winning that time. But it's still kind of simplified with two people. So I think you already stated in one of your videos that there's way more than two people. I call them motivations, conflicting motivations within the brain, and they're all fighting, they're subverting each other, right? So there's this power in the present moment that you can go ahead and subvert all those other fuckers, like press them the fuck down so they have to climb up again.
No. But the trick is, is that once your brain is to a certain state, like what respects the truth, they
Yeah.
still have to subvert each other with arguments, right? And so once the truth is a respectable judge, okay, so there's one program inside of you that has like no bias. It's just saying, I'm the truth seeker. And it is going to allow the subversion in the sense that it's going to say, no, you're cheating. Okay. That argument's a cheat. I saw it. Okay. You foul. You can't use that to push down the intellectual guy. Okay. So penis loses this round because penis is just using that as a rationalization and it's a scapegoat and blah, 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 and disqualified. You know, so I'm just saying we do have an umpire. Once you have respect for the truth, okay, then you have a program, okay, respect for the truth program, and it helps a lot in recognizing when my neuroses is speaking or when my horniness is speaking, blah blah blah.
Okay, I think I have a problem with that notion. I simply don't have this truth arbiter within me. I guess that's either a convenient solution or there's an equally strong scrambler of ideas, right? Never mind. I often give in to my.
I disagree that you don't have it. I disagree that you don't have it. You couldn't be this anal if you didn't have it. So
well,
I think
actually
the analyzing program or whatever you want to call it, you're just not calling him truth program. You're calling him something else. But I think you have a logic mechanism that does recognize when there's a specious argument being made inside your brain.
However, that might be even, I would say that guy you just described is also compartmentalized within all the other motivations, right? There's these what do I want to do things. I don't want to destroy your truth arbiter, but actually I kind of do. And also
I'm just saying that he's a free agent. So whenever the truth is getting abused, he shows up. Okay, say there's 7 people arguing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and one of them he sees as making the more honest argument. He just helps that guy. He doesn't guarantee that guy's going to win. He just guarantees that in this democracy, you got 2 votes instead of 1.
I never tried that. I should actually personify that dude. When it comes down to it, there's within all your conversations with other retards on the internet, it comes down to one dichotomy: the argument of truth versus the argument of power, right?
Yeah, I
Would
just
you
don't
agree
see
to
them. I
that?
don't see them as having anything directly to do with each other, except one is a vehicle that'll give you the other. So, no, the truth is power. So the truth will set you free. Okay, religious
Over
statement,
time, yes.
but a truth nonetheless, like the golden rule, a logical truth. The
Yeah. Yeah.
truth will set you free. It will give you power, in my opinion. It's always going to. The white hats will win in the end. Okay, sometimes it takes a long time for the white hats to win, but they will win. Logic will win. The human race has gotten more intelligent. Okay, it's just a tiny, tiny bit of a slope that it's on, but it does go in the right direction eventually.
Yes.
So I'm going to argue that all we're trying to do is accelerate that curve. We're just trying to find mechanisms that get people to the truth quicker than this awful slow mechanism that's been the engine of current memes. So there's a bunch of assholes in the fucking comments section. As you keep talking about this, is it's all whining, talking about reality, all right, and trying to dissect our circumstance is whining. I mean, I just wish I could shoot you fuckers. I mean, it's just such a useless argument. I mean, just copping out, just cop out of the conversation. You don't even want to talk about it. Here you come into a fucking room where there is a conversation. You're obnoxious to the idea of conversation unless you're talking about, oh, what's your favorite kind of pussy? Shaved into a heart shape, or do you like the ones that are more angularly shaved, or do you like them completely naked? Or, maybe that's the only kind of conversation you have. And maybe somehow you think this room is going to have that conversation in. But what the fuck are you doing here typing text? You're saying things, and you're saying stuff is useless. Hold up. It's farting. Why are you coming into this fucking room and farting then, cunt?
They're farting, but they're expressing themselves.
No, it's not an expression of anything rational. You can't express yourself by saying shut up. Shut up is an irrational expression. You cannot tell everybody else to shut up.
Yet, and wait, I'd like to somehow misconstrue this to let's kind of indulge them and still do our thing, right?
I know, but you're saying that talking to trolls is not a waste of time. I'll say it's a complete waste of time. Let's just get a minor majority, 51%, and you just kill the 49%. Fuck them. They're inconsolable. You cannot fix these people. Okay. I mean, if I logically sit here and think about what people say and what people do, there's no way that retard is, I would be better off talking to a chimpanzee. It's just a fact. I'd be better off trying to convince a chimpanzee, because these people cannot possibly do 2 + 2. It'll never happen.
Nupatia, is that how you pronounce Nupatia? Movement needs idiots. That's a problem with movements. It's kind of correct, right? That's not trolly.
I'd say it's bullshit. No, I'd say it's bullshit. I don't think that was true with the Greeks. I don't think it was true throughout the best parts of human history. When intellectuals were really intellectuals, and actually were speaking some truth. No, I don't think that's true. I don't think you need to fool people. I don't think you need to be building Notre Dame cathedrals. I don't think you need to do a bunch of horse shit to get people to believe in something sincerely. So I don't buy this bullshit argument that you need a bunch of useful idiots. No, it is not that complicated. The facts are not that complicated. I mean, again, you think people are actually doing logic when they believe in God? You think there's some kind of logic? It's like saying you're logically compelled to believe in Santa Claus. It's just as bad as that. Do you think anybody could ever say I'm logically compelled to believe in Santa Claus? No fucking way. And there's no way you could be logically compelled to believe these silly fables from the past that are completely irrational in the fact that, oh yeah, well, there was only 8 or 9 or 10 immaculate conceptions before Jesus. I wonder why none of those were the savior. Oh, yeah, just God impregnated a few women. So what? They're not really the son of God. But Jesus was. I'm
Um,
not just saying they have logical, they're all full of
I can
logical
misconstrue them.
holes that are just so
I
obvious
can
that
misconstrue
why do
their
we pretend it's
idiocy
anything but
as
retarded?
something logical. I can misconstrue everything. Everyone in the chat, please throw me any movie that I might know the synopsis of, and I can tell you what it means allegorically, right? The useful things you can pull out of movie ideas. So
But then
challenge
we're
me.
back to a Shakespeare argument, okay? I mean, we're back to, like, even when you were talking about the dual personality thing, right? At least the human race did get that right? Because for hundreds of years, they have had metaphors for this angel and the devil sitting on your
See,
shoulder.
that's one
And then
problem.
that metaphor is completely valid for the idea that we are conflicted by our selfishness and then
Yes.
our logic that knows, well, if I eat all the pie, nobody else gets any pie. We logically know that's a fact, okay? That we know there's starving people in China, so to speak. We know that these are truths, that when I eat the animal, I'm eating something that got, penned up and was tortured and then murdered for my convenience. And there's just no way to get around that. And that's a real thing talking over here. I'm just saying, so those things are real. They're useful metaphors. And it's just evidence that people can, okay, they can start recognizing that this is a true reality. Duality is not false. There's a real duality between the shitty part of us and the good part of us. We don't have to call it angels and devils. We just call it shitty and good.
Okay. See, that's where I don't find it useful. It's like one step away from God ideas. Like there's one cause. Oh, and now there's suddenly only two causes. I don't agree with it. There's countless motivators, right? And if you
But they all fit into a category, though. How do you mean? Yes, there could be 17,000 personalities into me, but they all fit into one or the other category. They're either doing something, in my opinion, that has to do with honoring the truth, or they're doing something that's completely motivated by my personal subjective self-interest. What I like to smell, what I like to see, what I like to do, what I enjoy. They have nothing to do with any bigger picture. And the other ones do the bigger picture stuff. And those two categories are all the category I need personally to say those are logically the only two categories that matter.
Well, one of my premises that just can't be broken down is everything somehow lands on a spectrum. I never managed to not make that make sense. But there was a suggestion I made earlier, something about movies.
But isn't a spectrum made out of three colors when it comes down to it? So this whole idea of there being this spectrum, if you really do the reductionism, you recognize that no, it's just an amount of blue, green, and red. I mean, or whatever the three colors you want to choose. I think reductionism can sit there and break that spectrum down into it fits into the selfish cunt category, or it fits into the I'm trying to be a decent human being category.
Well, sure, you can make him fit. But there's the thing that makes that gray is the point where something turns neutral between those. There's a gradient, a huge gradient that's exactly between good and bad. And that's one of the confusifiers that keeps dragging the argument down, right?
I don't think it does. I think that we can concede that there are some times you're going to feel good doing good. Okay. And so you're getting off on it, so to speak, because that's what your psychology has now validated this. This makes me a better person. I feel better about myself. And so you end up doing the right thing for a selfish reason only because the biology demands it. The robot is built that way. The robot will always do what it wants, quote unquote. And all you can do intellectually is make the right thing look good to the robot.
Yes, that's a good way
It's
to put it.
just using your brain to make it all fuckable. You're making being a good person a fuckable idea.
Nice. I like that. I already heard you say that a couple of times.
Fuck you.
No. Sorry, I didn't hear that.
I just said fuck you for pointing out that I'm being redundant.
No problem. I love you too. I actually kind of love you. That's probably confusing for some of the homophobes out there, but yeah, your soul
Yeah,
is
I understand. Whatever,
your soul
whatever.
is fucking beautiful.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay, so I threw something out there and challenged people to a certain thing. Did you get what I was getting at? You said
I don't know.
right
Asking
after
them
that. You
for
said
movie references, and then you're going to dissect the movie. I don't really know if I
exactly,
want to
yeah.
do that in this room.
On a valid or valuable level. Oh my God! I just shrank down the. Okay, look. Listen to this. I enlarged the video with the chat inside it. I enlarged it a little bit, and the chat suddenly grew smaller. That's kind of curious. Grew smaller. I'm such such a retard.
That's a typical English, not my first language mistake.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, no one's going to, that's just funny. It's not funny in any kind of big way.
So, okay. Someone said Terminator, right? There's concepts. Of course, there's the abundantly clear one, the human versus machine thing. And how can you make that make sense in the current times, right? Probably something akin to a stupid or a silly idea like you struggling with your microwave. That's one way to put it, human versus machine. What's way more important though is the time travel element, right? We all, everyone that's rational knows that there's no time travel. It's not possible on any feasible kind of way. Very probably, I'm sorry, I made this declarative, confident statement. I take back my confidence, but not my statement.
Well, regardless, look, we all can accept those kind of plot flaws. There's no man that can fly, but we can accept flight with our X-Man characters and whatnot.
Yes,
so let's not argue
that's it.
violation.
The value of everything.
Let's not argue violations of physics. Let's
Yeah.
argue plot flaws that are so preposterous, like the 4 million bullets that never hit anything, or the idea that a machine would waste time talking to its victim. Or do any of that horse shit, right? I mean, in the Terminator movie, the bad Terminator had 17 million opportunities to get the job done, and he fucked around instead. Okay, yeah. The machine wouldn't do that, right? The machine would get the job done. He wouldn't fuck around like a human being does, and play with his victim first.
Okay, now let's examine of how the fuck I got to my set of ideas. It's not the sheer 2 + 2. It's I had to interact with the world. I interacted with the world over movies I watched, and I kind of pretended I was glued to my seat. Even if I didn't enjoy a movie, I sucked out the value out of it, right? That's how I come up with all these interpretations that are crazy and convoluted. However, time travel, what's valuable about time travel if time travel itself is nonsense and not valuable as an operative concept? Well, how can you make time travel make sense? Time travel, of course, happens when you think about the past or future, right? Okay, here you go. You have a valid thing that comes with the thought of time travel. So if I traveled back in time and could undo that and that and that, the same the point Terminator makes in that regard with the time travel thing is even better made in things like in this relatively new movie.
I just think you could reduce that. So
hold up. In this relatively new movie, Naked, which is another version of Groundhog Day. Yeah, Groundhog Day does it better. It does the time travel thing over and over, right? Because it acknowledges that even if you think about the past, wanting to extrapolate something into the future or the present, you don't do it perfectly, right? You always make a mistake. You make another mistake when you think of that mistake, and if you practice often enough, you'll get both right, and all of that. That's somehow I don't want to call it beautiful, but
that's clearly something all humans want is control. So you're just basically giving them an opportunity to imagine and fantasize about a world where, like, say I enter the Olympics and I fall down and embarrass myself completely, right? I'm in the race and I fall down and I lose and blah, blah, blah. And I say, how can I fix this? Well, I go back in time and do it over again. Okay, give me the do-over, right? We all want that. We all want the do-over. We all want insurance against failure. So all the movie's doing is giving you something to feel like you have more power, and that's it.
I'm sorry, it gives you this exact tool, right? Because if you acknowledge that time travel is not a thing, there's still value to the idea of visiting your memories.
I'm sorry. I mean, all this, I don't want to do a show on movies, frankly. It's just wankery, in my opinion. This is all wankery. Okay, fine. Go ahead, people. Wank all you want to all the fantasies and all the notions of reality you want to. Has nothing to do with our reality, fixing a single problem in this fucking world. So all of these fucking movies have absolutely no value, in my opinion, because they don't get to any of the core fucking realities that this is not a winnable game. You will not have any superpowers. You're not going to be a mutant. You're not going to be able to wish things to happen. Bullshit. None of that's going to work. You're going to have to get into the trench and do this hard fucking work. And that's the only way where everything's going to get fixed. And there's no movie that's going to demonstrate reality. No movie is going to show you how to make lunch. All the movies are going to just give you the free lunch.
Communication over a wide distance is a superpower. Telepathy is basically a cell phone.
To what? I mean, I'd rather have a fucking goddamn tentacle that shoots out of my fucking head and just bore holes in people. That would be superpower.
I'll take the cell phone any day.
No, I'll take the zapping X-ray vision that just burns people's fucking heads off.
Well, I'm gonna win
or
then.
The squeeze machine, where I just where's their head and I'll just squeeze it.
Okay, how fast can you do it? How many people can I form with my cell phones into a human shield until you get to me, until I use my cell phone to tell a sniper to,
Anyway, I'm just saying that I don't want to do conversation in the bubble of fantasy, human games, whatever, video games or any of those kind of contexts. I just want to do this kind of, how do we get people to do this realistic thing where they recognize that sandwich making is a pain in the ass and we're responsible and there's nobody else here to fix it and we're the only thing that can do anything to fix a single harm in the world, and we've got to be motivated to fix harm. That's what I'm focused on. We have to motivate people to fix harm. I think if I talk about masturbating, that's not going to get there.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I disagree. Like very strongly, very, very strongly. It's exactly what you would need.
I don't think there's any chance that'll work.
The next thing, the next movie, Debbie Does Dallas. I don't know the implications of this movie. I've never seen it, but
it's a porn movie. Look, I don't want to do movies. I'm just telling you, okay? So chatters, stop talking about movies. You have to stop talking about movies. You want to do that with somebody else. I see absolutely no value. I'm not saying I see no value in Shakespeare. I see value in telling stories. I'm saying to you overtly, though, every fucking story being told by mass media, by the fucking Hollywood, is not a story about how to fix anything. So it's useless drivel. All right? The solutions are unrealistic. They're all happily ever after fucking stories. They don't say anything about the real fucking problem. So I really don't want to waste more time talking about fucking movies. Thank you.
That's a shame.
I'll do it with somebody else.
I don't have an audience.
Well,
yet.
You can get one. All right, your channel is what? DS Courage or something? All right, I'll put a link to his channel in the fucking video description. If somebody wants to talk to this guy about fucking movies all day, go the fuck ahead.
No, I just want to say there's an it's not completely useless. I think that's an exaggeration on your part. However,
name me the fucking movie that isn't useless. Go ahead. Tell me what movie does any fucking good in getting people to recognize that we evolved from goddamn scum. We're still fucking goddamn scum. And if we want to be better than Tyrannosauruses, we have to think better. okay, and do better, period.
That's the problem. It's not one movie, it's the sheer collection of them.
All right, cop out excuse, blah, blah, blah. You don't
Really?
have one fucking movie that's the top of the cream of your pile of wonderful cream. You have a ton of cream and you have this stupid, you can't give me one fucking movie that's the top of the cream
No,
pile.
because even but in stupid movies, I extract the value of them. There might be
All
more
right, you're
value in a
extracting
stupid
it
movie
because
than
you're looking for it, okay? You're not extracting what people get out of the fucking movie. What people get out of the movie is religion. They're not getting what you're getting out of the movie. They're not seeing the golden rule in the Bible. They're seeing, ooh, Noah showed his penis and therefore his son had to be sentenced to hell.
that's that's a that's exactly the problem. Yeah, I agree. I just don't uh, agree to the thing where you say, okay, kill it off because it's valueless, you know.
Well, I'm just saying I've been there and done that. I'll say that first, okay? Did years
Really?
stick
Wow.
him where everybody always wanted to talk about fucking movies and you always waste all this time talking about some fucking movie. And I'm just done talking about fucking movies. They're all bullshit. They're fantasies. They have nothing to do. They're all plot flawed all over the fucking place. They're just not useful tools in getting people to be rational and logical. They're free lunch food, okay? It's just more vending machine food. It doesn't have anything to do with reality. It's just the magic machine produces my feeds my emotional needs. That's all they are. They're fucking cuddly babies or something. They're just not anything useful as an intellectual tool.
I think they're buffets, and most people are taking the idiotic stuff out of it. I agree so far. And yeah, you said you stated the problem. They're not taking the same things out of it as I.
Yeah, right. They're not going through the buffet to find the lettuce and the tomatoes and the nice little
Shit.
vegetables.
Oh, that's
They're
the nice
just
one to put
pulling
it.
the
Oh,
bologna.
you nailed it.
They're pulling the bologna out and making a sausage sandwich out of bologna. I
Oh,
mean,
shit,
that's what they're
that's
doing.
exactly what
Bologna
I.
and sausage.
By the way, I'm a meat addict, and I can't express how fucking stupid I feel about that. I can't. I literally can't.
Well,
I
don't be
hate.
anal. Stop being anal. Stop being anal. I'll communicate in your own language. Stop being anal. It's okay. What the hell happened
Being
to the
anal.
camera?
Oh yeah, it's okay. Yeah, in a bigger picture way, I guess. Yeah, but isn't that just a cop out? Just changing the picture size to fit my needs. Ugh.
I can argue that I love fantasizing. Spend a lot of my life doing it. I love watching movies. Okay. I'm just saying it hasn't made me a better person.
I don't think so. I think you're wrong there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I'm just saying the analysis would have taken place without the movies. And most of what I've gotten out of the movies again was just entertainment. It fed my ego, it fed lots of things, but it didn't feed my intellect. I didn't learn enough from movies.
okay. Well, maybe you're just too smart for them. I, on the other hand, can identify with retards. In fact, my non-existing political platform is. Wait a minute. That's on my "Who Am I" sheet. Oh yeah, I'm a spokesperson for retarded, psychopathic, insane. Fuck. Tards. Yeah, no. The party of retarded, psychopathic, insane hypocrites. That's who I'm.
Yeah, I know, but we're all members. I'm just saying that I mean you know, I've spent my whole life as a neurotic. I mean, I'm neurotic, okay,
Yeah.
in a real sense of being completely controlled by nonsense in my brain that I can't get out of my way. I keep seeing, whatever fire and there's no fire. But I can get over that, right? Because I know that's just my psychology. That's just psychic. You know what I mean? That's the psycho part. That's not a good part. That's garbage. So I'm just saying, I can clearly delineate, these realities and say which stuff is ignorable in the sense that I've been that. I know they're fake flames, and I won't have a conversation with somebody else saying, "Don't you see the flames?" don't you see it? Don't you see, so I know they're not going to recognize my world because my world has these flames in it that they don't see.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm just saying I'm smart enough to know that and make that distinction. So I'm just saying you have to take, you can't take life too personally in the sense of philosophy almost has to be the exact opposite of personal. I mean, you really have to make it as impersonal as possible, as clinical as possible.
Detaching yourself from yourself. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, and catching that.
Oh, yeah. And
catching
for
it
the audience,
is difficult.
For the audience, I feel the need to say detaching yourself from yourself is, for example, walking in other people's shoes. Just as an FYI, in case you didn't know.
Well, you can type into the comments, right? Just type your screen name, just so if they want to look you up, they can look you up, and then I won't, just so they know where your channel is and they can subscribe and all that kind of crap.
Here I am. I said hi chat, hi. Yeah, somebody said something is an F-list movie. I'd be careful with such shallow analyses. Break them down, break the arguments in a movie down as far as possible, as detailed as possible, as relevant as possible, as ground covering.
Well, you brought up the Sunset Limited, which actually is an F-list movie. I mean, in the sense that it's as dark as I've ever seen a movie go. It
just shows.
It has a guy commits suicide, right? And somebody saves him, prevents him from committing suicide, and he basically tells the guy who saved him, "Look, this is my real life. This is how I see the world. It's all scum. It's all that. You haven't done me a favor, you retard. Okay, you've just gotten in my fucking way.
I'm really sorry to retract my statement. I myself know an F-list movie. It's Antichrist. Do you know that one?
I don't. Yeah, see, it's anything with Antichrist. It's probably going to be something I'm going to avoid because I'm too stupid to give it a good name. I mean, Antichrist is a horrible name. So
it's a stupid name. It doesn't even fit really well with the thing that's in there. But yeah, the name aside, it puts those two philosophies together or counter to each other, which is the psychologist being a life affirmist and the patient being someone who just sees death and horror, right? And yeah, that movie kind of stroked that part of my recognition. Yeah,
I'm just saying movies can be honest in the sense that they can at least present the argument, even though they try to put a silver lining on it. Yeah. Once they presented the truth, once they've shown the baby elephant getting eaten by the lions, you can't undo that. Okay, they can try to undo it, but they really can't undo it. Okay, it's just sitting there glaring at you, saying, "Well, I see a flaw in this movie. I mean, there's a baby elephant that's dead, so there's a flaw. Sorry."
Yeah. Thank you for making my argument for me.
Next jumping off point, non sequitur, whatever you call it.
Okay.
Moving on.
All right. Can I read you something? I started out writing notes and then it ended up being a text.
Yes, I'm perfectly good at people narrating at me. So go ahead.
Cool. I played a game once, a computer game, Gary. A computer game. I'm sorry, I called you Gary. I actually planned ahead to call you inmendham the whole time, but yeah, never mind. I'm entitled. You're calling me by my real name too.
I'm not devastated by this event, so don't worry about it.
Of course, yeah. But, it's about principle and stuff. But then again, I earned it because I'm putting my actual...
I know, but it's not even a principle, okay? It's just that I don't want trolls to think they have a right to call me Gary, right? I don't care if somebody who had the right to call me Gary calls me Gary. It's just that there's certain people who don't have a right.
I just added the word troll to my political party name. Thank you.
Okay.
So I played a game once. It's called Bayonetta 2. And its main messages aside, it tries to stuff much more meaning into its narrative and into its characters and so on. And one of them was a boss fight, and it had a name which I forgot, but its sub-name, its title, was Embracer of Extremes, and it was laziness or sloth. Exactly, sloth. You know, the sin, sloth. All right, Embracer of Extremes, and I found it curious. Right, I commented on it. How could I misconstrue this as correct? How can I make sloth make sense in the sense of embracer of extremes? Okay, making an argument too simple, and then along comes my roommate and says, "Well, what do you need to move a sloth? Right? Extremes. All right." So I gained a point of view right there. That was awesome. My conclusion months later, right? Because brain needs time to process, even if it's months. Oh, anus, I said to myself. Oh, anus, you're not lazy. You just haven't found any monsters big enough to slay. And then it happened. A friend of mine introduced me to The Drunken Peasants. So I watched it. So I watched for a bit being probably 4 years or something. I was entertained enough, embarrassingly, and filtered out the good ideas and kept planning, preparing my great YouTube career, which was about to happen any moment. Preparing and failing. Then I noticed I liked some of TJ's ideas, right? Because they kind of hit this note on how to construe justice and how to construct it. I'm sorry, how to construct justice. But I kind of noticed, okay, I disagree here, and that was always such a tiny voice that I didn't quite get. I didn't quite communicate with that voice. I just left it at, okay, that's a little stupid, that's a little wrong, and so on. And I went through all this because there was also a lot of agreement that stood the test of my axioms. A lot of them didn't. A lot of it. But as I don't think out loud, I can mostly pervert, or rather unpervert, anything the video host just said there into a spectrum of some qualified statement. A pacifier mechanism, you could argue. Retroactively, I see it as a consensus hunt or steel manning in excess as being in very much or too much of his philosophical merit, his as in the video host. And somewhere around that time, he mentioned your name. Oh, sorry. Wait a minute. I'm sorry, I left out the part where I jumped to Paul's ego and watched his streams for quite a bit of time. And and I milked him dry, so to speak, of his philosophical merit. And somewhere around the time he mentioned your name, inmendham, for the third time, and the rest is history. Then I discovered your videos and I milked the essence out of those. And I always kind of felt like I cheated. You making those arguments, me just listening and mostly nodding.
Well, I wish I had the same cheat. The truth, I wish somebody would have mentored me in my youth, so I didn't have to go through that whole period where I said I'm insane, and had to keep saying to myself, "No, you're not crazy. They are. You're not crazy. They are."
I'm so thankful. Yeah. Whatever. I can't even express. Worlds apart and stuff. I would probably still sit here and defend. I don't know. Any kind of bigotry, even media bigotry, Gary. Sorry, I had to throw that in. Had to throw that in there. Okay, I looked you up and kept watching. Your principles seemed in order, but a tad too idealistic in your approach. And I waited for the other shoe to drop. What would qualify that? And there was the balancing factor, harsh punishment, right? And the threat of harsh punishment. So, yeah, I thought, okay, I could learn from that. My philosophy isn't that different from yours. It's just more in the preventive category, less in the retroactive, and so on. So I jumped from a level 20 monster, being TJ, to a level 25 monster, being Paul, to a level 99 monster, right? And there it was, a monster big enough to slay.
A challenge. Right?
But I can't, right? I can't. Your axioms are too good, probably. If I find something, of course I can nitpick, and that's the same as slaying you. But
Well, it's not really the same. I mean, you can cover
of
me,
course, but it sure feels that way.
cover me in dog food, but I'll dig my way out. I mean, I will be able to dig my way out.
Okay, sure. The least bit of mechanism to digging your way out would probably be the agree to disagree. Okay, worst case scenario, I gain an ally, right? That was my worst case because I set myself up for a certain kind of failure, and if that failure happens, yeah, I gain an ally. Um, um, so, boom, 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 boom. And of course, I felt like there's finally someone worth defeating. Worst case scenario, I gain an ally. I'm sorry, I jumped back. I keep looking down and to the front. I know what a horrifyingly glib reason to fight, right? I mean, it's horrifyingly glib to say, "Ooh, finally, someone worthy to take down." I'm almost like a Dragon Ball character chasing Goku or something. To which I say,
we all do that to some extent, right? Though, I mean, that's just an internal function of being certain. You know, you want to be sure, and
oh
so
yeah, definitely,
you'll fight for that certainty.
yeah,
And that's sort of what you're arguing for, is the battle is really for your own confidence.
exactly, yeah, kind of. I mean, I recognize the context and stuff, but I can't feel it. Just like I can't feel a praying mantis taking apart an ant, and so on. I have actually another story regarding praying mantises. If you manage, please remind me. So, our differences between inmendham and me are probably not in philosophy, but in policy. Yeah, in some kind of arguing practicability. And as I'm watching, there's this uncanny effect where I argue details or counters against your videos or your arguments in my imagination, and over time, something really weird happens, insufferably frequent as it is. As I watch your videos in reverse order, right? I started with the newest one, and I watch you get younger. So there's this guy, inmendham button, either refutes, qualifies, or refines an argument I was actually arguing against, right? So that's it kept happening not every video, but an uncomfortable amount of videos. You kept retroactively justifying something I found a point against, and I found it annoying and terrifying. That was one reason why it took me so long to come on here. I watched probably I'm somewhere in 2016. So I, you know, with your video progress, I guess I can call it progress. Yeah, whatever. And you kept doing that, right? You kept taking the wind from my sail, and I needed to force myself better, in a better manner, to actually get to you, to talk to you. Now it's pretty easy. This anticipation thing is a horror, right? Okay. Maybe that's just me getting desensitized to the very, very frequent redundancies in your videos. However, I'm watching you get younger in your videos, and you ubiquitously answer questions that come up in one video, in that one that came before. And I'm supposed to not think I'm in some sort of story. Like this certainly reads like a subversive narrative in my head. Wow, I'm one of the most uninteresting main characters in any story ever. Consuming video after video in a closed room. Try to make that an appealing movie to a cinema audience. Yeah, I could probably do it. I'm a good director. Potentially, not in my actual videos. Please don't watch them, they're terrible. I'm kidding, you have to watch them. What I'm getting at is this. I've postponed my approaching you in fear of addressing points redundantly, because on paper, redundancy is one of the most efficient enemies of efficiency.
Well,
that's it. I don't have any qualifying statement for that.
I mean, I obviously I would sort of disagree with the end statement, where I would argue that redundancy is part of the necessity, and the redundancy isn't strictly redundancy, right? It's just rephrasing and reconceptualizing a similar argument into different arguments. I can use the drunk driver argument. I can use the Frankenstein argument. I can use these different metaphors and analogies. And yes, they're redundant in theme, but obviously as a story being told, you might go for the three bears story more than the talking fish story. So
because it's appealing, right?
Well, I'm just saying that we're back to the argument that everybody is in a different position, and you're trying to elevate them to some other place, and there's different amounts of obstacles in their way, and there's a different maze they have to travel to get to point B. Their point A is different, and that's the challenge, is to navigate.
Remember the argument that I made before?
Hello?
Gary there.
Yes?
Hi, this is Eric calling from the National Police and Troopers Association.
Yeah, forget it. They're way overpaid. Come on, you got to be kidding me. They're way the hell overpaid. I should give them my money. They already have all the fucking money. All right. Some asshole soliciting for police officers, like they need more money. It's ludicrous. They work, they work 5 years and get full retirement. They all they have to do is say, I don't like black people. I'm disabled. Okay, and they get fucking lifetime disability because they said I don't like black people anymore. I mean, it's just disgusting. Fuck cops.
Well,
all right. Well, anyway, so back to your point. I'm just saying. Okay, so that was. I'll have to tell you that was a little winded to get to what are just basic themes of this is how I'm sort of doing my enlightenment thing through this sort of course. And you surprised me. You're basically just saying you surprised me because I didn't think there were any monsters as monstrous as you. Okay, and it's so gnarly, and there's tentacles all over the place, and wow, this is really a Jedi challenge. Lifesaver skills to be able to manage this tentacle monster because it's really monstrous and blah blah blah. And it's a nice story. I'm just saying that yes, you could have told it faster.
Yeah, of course I could have. That's also playing into my argument, which we'll probably get to at some point. It will just click my vision of the future. I mean, I could go through it point by point, which would be very taxing on my part because I feel like I'm holding on to some secret that needs to still be
I love people that have a secret plan. I love that. That's such a funny concept. I mean, just because everybody like it's even me. I say, just a joke. I say, well, yes, any day now I'm going to make the perfect video. It'll go viral. And blah, 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 blah will happen. And so I tell this little magical story about how I can see it. I can see the course.
You have shown
I can see how we can just plow right through this Dead Sea and, we'll get to the promised land. And yes, it'll look like a desert, but, it's free. It's ours.
No. I argue it's, it could be a kind of free, but it's still a lot of work. Like, It's even a kind of war, as I phrased it before, but it's the good kind of war. One of ideas, right?
Yeah. Well, make a video where you go into the whole spiel of your exact plan.
Actually,
You
I
can't give away any of the secret parts because, of course, if you give away the secret parts, then the bad guys will know how to.
Yeah, exactly.
Put obstacles in the way, so you don't want to give away all your secret, really good stuff.
But you know what's the funny part? The funny part is I take that into account, right, in that secret plan, and I'll probably finish the video. I've got it laying there. It's halfway edited. It's a parody of another channel, right? I guess I have to call it parody because I imitate that guy's voice and speech impediment. I did that already once, and I did it very badly, and I ended up not taking it down, but making it hiding the video, and I'm not proud of that, right? That kind of could extrapolate to me having lost all my integrity, right? Because any one secret or any one taking back of a statement, I could make the same mistake with any other statement. But then again, shut up. Yeah, so what I'm saying is that video is on its way, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying that's fine. I just don't want to, like I said, you are kind of sometimes detail oriented, and you're just getting more detail than I think this audience,
deserves.
I'm just saying
do something.
They're in some respects, like I say, they've heard all this before. So I mean, in some ways, it's like, you can't make it too tedious. To give them some food value in terms of will accidentally say something brilliant. That's what we're really trying to do, is just in the process of interacting between our two different perspectives, we're trying to say something that will, yes, that's something I haven't thought of before.
Exactly, yeah. And I can't even express my awe, I guess, my awe of how often that happened with me interacting with your video image over time. So another little text, I guess. Let's say some sufficiently smart people make it to your channel. I think they're very likely to hear some things you say and go, well, duh, and that needed explaining, and write you off as, yeah, that's correct, but who cares? And they use all the other refuted things. All the other things that you already refuted at some point to evade talking about the point you made just now, right? So there's a certain time problem there, right? Time is the enemy. Just like as Doctor Strange, the movie, pointed out to us, it literally said time is the enemy. How do you counter time? With speed. Oh, already said too much. Okay.
I think the underlying that, just again, is still this the object that we're describing is simple and easily described, and it's only because people have a lot of this other stuff, the fog or whatever you want to call it, that easy to diagnose image. There's an easy, the Sasquatch behind the tree is just a branch with poison ivy growing on it that looks like fur and blah blah. You know what I mean? There's a simple diagnosis for all of this extra words that have to be used, and I'm only using all these extra words because I'm in the process of making this crap. I'm not in the process where I've already made it somewhere and now I'm going to put it through an algorithm and filter out all the redundancies and all the unnecessary bits, and I'm going to write the perfect play.
That would be a nice
it would be the silver bullet, right? The silver bullet that kills anything. Werewolves, Frankenstein's, Dracula's, it kills them all. All right. I haven't shaped that bullet. I'm in the process of trying to figure out how to make that bullet. And that's the problem. This is a work in progress, not a work completed.
Okay. Well, we'll see if you see the bullet in my video that I'm about to finish anytime now, because it's been laying there for probably a year. I'm so embarrassed. Yeah, at some point in the audio editing, I decided, damn it, I shouldn't force this. I should actually look for a stable income first and then do this activism bullshit, right? So what's in it for me first, and then do the activism shit. But then again, there's the problem of what if I become afraid to lose that stuff, right? Because right now I'm.
Well, the problem seems immediate, and so this thing seems like something needs attention because it seems like it's bleeding wound now. Where some of the other problems just say I can afford to waste 3 years, or I can wait to do this, and I can wait to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm doing the same thing. I mean, I'm trying to manage a real life too, and you know, and you compromise all kinds of crap, you know, and
tell me about it.
Devoted to a subject. So I mean, I've offended an awful lot of anti-natalists because I'm wasting a lot of time doing physics. You know, and they're wasting.
But I think you're all wasting your time because, you know, the most priority I would ascribe to communication being fixed first. Because
well, I mean, I don't know what I understand. I mean, I'm always wasting my time. I don't really know how to react to that statement. I just say, fuck you, you're an idiot.
I don't mean to be offensive, but
well, I don't know whether it's offensive or not. I just don't accept it as a truth. I think it's just oxymoronically, insanely disconnected. You just sit there and spend all this time explaining how my videos changed you and did all this crap, and all this now you're saying it's a waste of time.
Yeah, exactly. What a contradiction.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
It's on me to shoulder that contradiction, right? It's on me.
So your plan is for us to lose. You have the plan that's going to illustrate how we don't win in the end, because you think it's a futile pursuit.
No, not because of the futility, just because of my plan is better, and it's kind of gonna happen inevitably, but it matters who does it first. Okay, it kind of matters. It's somewhat of a singularity just because I calculated the speed of it, but yeah, you know, it matters.
Well, I just say off my first impression, having looked at the cover of your book, there's no chance. There's no chance in hell you got this thing. So,
okay, well, I hope I'll surprise you. If it doesn't happen, I'll take the humility and humiliation, whatever. Another video series I'll probably never finish is right on here. This is a list of, how do I put this? Yeah. It's an addendum to the logical fallacies, right? I could read them right now, all of them, because there's like 40 of them, and I tried to distill the bullshit out and the redundancy. So 40 is still kind of an impressive number, not very manageable.
Yeah, well, these are all useful things to do, you know, in my opinion. You're saying it's a waste of time. I'm saying these are sort of useful things to do. I mean, I've done a lot of reductionism in myself. You know, I have this little map.
Sure.
I drew a little map of life and what it's made out of, and, you know, what the real meaningful mechanisms are that are creating this Rube Goldberg, right? It's a Rube Goldberg machine.
Yeah.
This whole thing of human identity, even, you know, it's a, and but it's definitely made of components. You know, it's made of, this is the evolution bit, this is the, you know, simple answers, the scapegoat bit, the optimism bias bit. You know, you have these certain bits, and once you put all those bits together in a picture, you can just point out how, look, see how it spells vomit? I mean, it's, you know, it's garbage, it's crap.
Can I throw you a buzzword that's probably very nice and very effective to throw around? It's applied to humanity, and it's Stockholm Syndrome. I don't know if you did that already,
I
but
know, but that's
Stockholm
like
Syndrome.
50 years old. I mean, that's like so old, the concept. I mean, that goes all the way
Yeah,
back to whatever her name is, and the whatever the blue front or something. I mean, they didn't even have cool names back then. Terrorists were like really lame. They were called like the DNC. But go ahead.
I
Tell me how
rarely
it's relevant.
used as a descriptor of human condition. I find it very accurate. You get distilled some information. You get it beaten into you. You accept it. It becomes part of you. You identify with it. You defend it. It's all. It just fits. So
Well, I know, but that's just covered by the word addiction. So all you're really doing is force feeding somebody. Okay. It's reconditioning. It's the Stockholm Syndrome. You could just say the better illustration of the scenario
yeah.
would be that British film, the Hunky Dunky, the rapist guy who gets reconditioned. Clockwork Orange.
Clockwork Orange. Yeah.
Clockwork Orange is basically just showing you the mechanism. Okay, it's just really what you've been conditioned into.
It's also showing you a solution
of the programming, and the programming can be imposed on you psychologically to fuck you up, make you neurotic, and so make you compulsively something. And it'll have nothing to do with what you understand. It'll just have to do with what you feel, and your visceral reactions will be the actions that cause your behavior. And all I'll argue is that all becomes meaningless once I get somebody to respect the word truth. So once I get them to understand there's an intellectual truth, a reality that we can describe and define, then I have hope of getting them to understand you're just a neurotic piece of shit. Okay, you've been programmed to enjoy things that aren't enjoyable by any rational machine. A rational machine would vomit, okay, doing what you do, dancing the way you dance, doing anything the way you do. The machine would be humiliated and kill itself because it says, I can't be this big of a jackass. So if there was something called an intelligence in the universe, right, they would show up here and just go, oh, God, they're pitiful. I mean, they would cringe, in horror to think about, oh, consciousness is trapped in these awful vessels. I mean, these machines are disgusting. I mean, they'd be so revolted that a computer could go this wrong. Oh, it's so badly programmed. It's disgusting. So I'm just saying that once I get people to empathize with that argument that we are programmed hideously, then I have hope.
Yeah. I have an echo again.
I don't.
Okay. Never mind. It's probably going to go away. It's a smart echo. It's going to go away.
Okay.
So,
my desk is on fire. Oh, no, it's not really on fire. That's just me. Sorry.
So I have this list that will probably never become a video series, or if I somehow find people who are willing to listen, it maybe will.
It doesn't hurt to do it. I'm just saying that's one lesson I've learned. I mean, once you do this a little bit, you find out, okay, it's not that hard to do. What's the harm in it? Okay, even if I'm not entirely correct in how I'm wording it or how I'm saying it, any correctness is more than nothing. So there's like your movie thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
There's movies that are really badly made, but they have some kernels of value in them, and you'll appreciate the fact that those kernels can be appreciated by someone in some distant future. So you might as well you might as well try. If the sandwich isn't too good, it's still got tomato sauce on it or something. Somebody will like some part of it.
Yeah, that was the biggest part about doing this, like this acknowledgement that the video footage will keep existing and keep convincing, and that's one of the things I found, in the beginning, most admirable about your efforts, because you said it yourself. Oh no, the other person is not Seraphobe, but I know that guy. He's pretty smart. You should totally check him out. Seraphobe is logical and stuff. This overtime argument, that you have the confidence that it's gonna stay up, it's gonna keep talking to people. I very lately, yeah, I very lately made that connection.
So I'm just saying it does get easier. So I'm just saying don't assume that you will always be as concerned with every pause and every misspoken word and every, because all of that shit is sort of irrelevant. And you sort of get the idea that it really doesn't matter that I don't look too good. It doesn't matter this, it doesn't matter that. I mean, so you lose all inhibitions. And I'm not saying you should lose all inhibitions because, yes, some of my videos are quite hideous. But so don't use me as an example. Try to be a little more dignified than I am. But I'm just saying it does get really easy to go all the way down the road of indignity. It gets pretty easy to do. So I'm just saying, don't worry, it gets easier.
Oh, really? Because there is a point to be made. Well, I'm actually right now in the process of getting over myself, but that's one of my more stable criticisms of you. In the face of the stakes, in the face of the stakes that we're having, you're kind of valuing your dignity a little much, right? This I don't want to talk about movies thing.
Well, that's not my dignity. I'm just saying that I've been there and done that. Is what I'm saying, and I don't find the ground fruitful. I personally don't find it fruitful because it has too many plot flaws and plot destroyers to defend the little grains of truth. It's like I made the example of the Bible. I mean, the Bible has 4 or 5 little lines in it that are beautiful, and the rest of it's a big pile of shit. So I'm just saying you can't take the whole thing. All right. If I could cut the good parts out, I'm all for it. Write a new book. So if you want to make a movie that doesn't have all the shit in it, fine. But the movies that exist have way too much shit to justify the load that it's doing. I think it's doing more damage than good.
Okay.
With its silver lining, happily ever after, magical solutions. I think all that shit is doing more damage to people's psychology in terms of being good robots or smart people. It's making them dumb, not smart. I guess that's my argument. It's making them dumber, not smart, especially movies like Interstellar, right? Because they're supposed to be justified or defended by science. And they're fucking retarded. They're not even honest to their own bullshit. And, and it's just a fable. I mean, it's just a cartoon of reality.
I watched that movie and I tried to even to make even that one make not sense but point, and I think I somehow managed it, and it was exactly this one I was addressing, like this confidence that time is not per se destructive, right? So we have this connotation, everything that exists over time deteriorates, but we can actually life hack the fuck out of that, right? I mean, except if there's some heat death of the universe thing where the atoms suddenly feel the urge to fall apart, there's probably a way to keep something of value going, or going in a good enough way.
That's part of the lie, right? Because it's like they turned, oh yes, I was dying of cancer for 5 years, and that's 2 minutes of the video. You know what I'm saying? So something that's 5 minutes, something that's 5 years is reduced to 5 minutes, and you get no appreciation for the fact that in that movie, even if you want to look at it as a love story or something, the amount of pain, is monstrous and not revealed. In the sense that there's years where the girl is missing, her father's gone, right? He's gone and the world is burning, and she doesn't even have her father to hold his hand or something. She's got nothing, right? And it sort of just, they just eliminate that as a real pain, right? And somehow it all worked out in the end because we're on Saturn's moon or something and everything's just fine and everything worked out just great. When no, it didn't work out just great. You all lived crappy, shitty lives, struggling, to make something change, and nothing. You know what I'm saying? It just, it's a horror story, not a beautiful story.
It is. On the other hand, well, what do you know how long they have this paradise? Maybe they'll make it worth it. Maybe they'll balance it out.
But they're playing baseball, right? They're still in the Stone Age, right?
That makes sense.
Fucking playing baseball on a fucking satellite. I mean, fuck. I mean, it's like, you know.
Yeah, but they have to pander to the current idiots.
Let's go to heaven and let's bring diarrhea with us. I mean, it's just retarded.
Kernels of truth.
Kernels. No, there was no kernel. The whole movie was just a stupid little bad love story that just went absolutely nowhere. It was just a big pile of steaming crap. Just create a mess and watch people try to clean up the mess. That's all the movie was. Make a mess and watch people struggle to clean up the mess. And we'll pretend that the magical solution where you go to the singularity and you move some books around. There, I solved the problem. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So another fake solution where I just go back into the past and move a couple of books and everything's okay. Bullshit.
Time for my pettiness to kick in. When I was in your chat, there was a couple of misunderstandings. You read something I wrote as I have to express.
I already admitted that, didn't I? Didn't I already say?
Just to clarify it further, because I'm that anal. Okay.
Okay, you really are. That is so fucking anal. I don't even know how to describe it. So far out on the anal edges, man. Woo. You win. Yes, gold medal.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I don't even enjoy hearing that.
Gold medal.
Yeah, the king of the fucking universe, a level 99 monster bows to me. Yes. No, but seriously, I said something akin to I have to express a shit ton. Have you recognized that retroactively, or do you still think I wanted to somehow shit on you?
I don't even remember the shit ton thing, but yes, anybody who knows me should know I have no sense of humor, in the sense I never get a joke. And words, I don't do words very well. Okay, so playing on words, no, it just flies right past.
No, it wasn't even a play on words. I just wanted to, I had to explain why it's really difficult being part of the chat in any productive manner.
But I'm just saying that the worst way to express that to me is in words, because I just don't do
bitch, as if I had any other option while I'm in chat.
Yes, exactly. I'm not saying that being in my chat is not for the weak. Okay, you gotta have game. You gotta have real game.
Except the chat. Please don't trolls from now on.
Well, I'm just saying that it's a challenge, okay? Because I react, brutally,
explosively.
Okay? Yes, and immediately, and you just don't get any second chances, nothing. So you got to know that, or you're not gonna last too long.
Okay. So far this, and there was I at some time I said I believe in Martians over time. Do you get that reference now?
No. Why would I get something like that? I believe in Martians over time. Somebody wrote that. Somebody write that, and I'll look at it. That was me. What the hell does that mean?
Do you? Well, if you don't know what I mean, I'll explain it. You actually addressed it in one, I don't know what video, probably some 2017 video, right? It's the problem of I know you believe that life is so incredibly rare and special, and it's almost a miracle that it actually happened once, and I agree. But given how many years there are left, to exist, or there are probably left.
I know, but I made this argument 100 times that for every year, for every billion of years you can add to the universe, I just add one more lightning bolt to the first cell being created. I just add one more, and so exactly. I can increase the improbability of life just as easily as you can expand the universe. So I'm just saying that what we know as a minimum is that this life thing is built out of incredibly unlikely events. I mean, it's
Yes,
at least like me throwing 5 Yahtzee dice and having at least 2 of them stack on top of each other.
I think
land right on top of
each other, right?
I'm just saying we know it's at least that unlikely.
Yeah.
And it might be all 5 and all of them 5 facing up. It might be a preposterously unlikely event.
And that's what I would argue for, at least that we at least, if we extinct ourselves, at least leave someone behind that takes care of that or tries to. I mean,
well, you leave a robot behind. You just create a drone that goes out into the universe like Star Trek, and it just sucks up planets and turns them into hydrogen. I think that's a fine solution.
That's cool. Okay, I'm fine with that. So that's resolved in my.
Because if there's any life that's smart enough to justify its existence or defend itself in court, that life form will be able to stop the robot. You know what I mean? They'll just land on it and, turn off the machine, hit the switch. We'll put a big on-off switch on the robot, right?
Yeah.
All they have to do is okay, so no problem. If you're smart enough to hit the off button, you live. If you're not smart enough, we suck up your fucking solar system.
That kind of recreates all of these alien movies because they're all kind of hitting the off button. But yeah, we should make that an obvious off button.
I'm just saying it's the only Star Trek theme that ever made sense to me was the idea of this idea that why wouldn't an intelligence just create drones? Yeah. And if you're going to create drones, why don't you have them do some cleaning while they're at it? So I would just create a bunch of robots that go out into space, reproduce on other planets, right? So they make more robots all the time, and they just keep going out and spreading and becoming a virus that just basically says, are you smart enough to survive? It asks the question, can you say hello? If you can say hello, you live. If you can't say hello, we're wiping you out because you're just tentacles and you're just consuming each other because you're doing what any replicating molecule will do, which is you'll evolve very badly into a bunch of competitive devices that consume each other and hurt each other. So fuck it. We're not going to do that.
Okay. This hello qualifier, I love it. How could we go on?
Pick your. Let's tie it up. So let's just say this. So this is your summation moment. Your big. This we didn't get to thing. So get to the thing you wanted to get to, but we haven't gotten to yet.
No. If we had time to fill, I would have just read my list of fallacies that I essentiated. But yeah, that's for a different time, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying, it just gets to a point, whatever, you get to 2 hours or something, my brain starts saying it's 2 hours, it starts saying, time's up, I'm only good for 2 hours, then I gotta take a nap.
And I'm really sorry in advance. We'll do the list next time, DVRD.
Maybe you could publish the list so then I can pre-read the list, and that way I can do my reductionism and say, no, let's not do the whole list. Let's just do these 10 things that really matter.
That's a very confident reductionism you got there, but mine already worked some of this list a couple of times, but I'm slow and retarded, so I'll accept your help.
I'm just saying I'm talking to the anal guy. So I'm just saying, let us assume that your anal plane has kicked in and that you're probably given too many bad ideas the benefit of the doubt. And I won't bother with that benefit of the doubt thing. I'll just say, no, let's get to the meat.
Kill him off. Fuck him.
No, I'm just saying there's meat here. Okay, there's, where's the beef, whatever the analogy is. Let's get to the stuff that matters, and let's try not to waste too much time on this that isn't quick.
I think we went through enough already. It was plenty. I'm somewhat exhilarated and exhausted, and
it was good, and I knew it would be okay. And I'm just saying, so for the people, just as a context, okay, I mean, he did contact me and blah 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 a few times actually, and it wasn't that I was against anything. I'm just saying that he is a personality like everybody, but I think you can see that his brain, works. Okay, it's working fundamentally in a analytical and somewhat clinical manner, and so I see value in his capacity to rearrange objects and make certain things more visible. So maybe you don't see it, but I see it. So I'm just saying, if anybody wants to be a critic, fuck you. Okay. I think this was a good conversation, and
I think so too.
and we will do it again. So if you don't like it,
I'm looking forward to that. Are you kidding? This is the best I've been at. I've never been more at my best than these couple of minutes. So fuck you.
So we'll figure once a week or something like that, and I think we can make it a thing. And anybody else who would like to maybe join, I mean, we can go 3 people sometimes if they're the right 3 people.
Yeah.
No more than that, in my opinion, because then everything goes tangential. But it'd be good to have a fact checker or the fact checkers.
Please accept some of the tangents. They're so valid, so important.
This argument that I don't accept tangents, it's not valid in my opinion. I'm just saying that I'm as much as you do have this glowing appreciation for the value of my monstrous capacity to make arguments and all this crap. I'm just saying you can't be a hypocrite about it or duplicitous. I mean, one minute you can't say, yes, Gary, you have shown very good judgment, yet your judgment sucks. So I'm going to exercise. I'm not saying I have to win in a debate over what we talk about. I'm saying if you want to defend something, okay, I'll indulge it. We can do a few movies. It's okay with me. I just don't want to make this a theme of folding every conversation into memes presented in movies. Okay, that's all. I just don't want to be that. I don't want this to be.
We're going to be way more diverse than that.
Well, I'm just saying it can get to be a theme. I mean, I've seen that with other people's conversations. You know what I mean? They get folded into a package, and they never go outside of that package because that's everybody's comfort zone. I'm just saying I don't want to get into your comfort zone. I don't want to be completely in my comfort zone, and so I'll allow you to drag what you think are relevant tangents into the conversation. I'm just saying I'm going to oblige you to do so responsibly. That's all I'm saying. Okay, if you're going to do it well. And if you don't do it well, I'm going to point out how, that was sorry, you fell down. No good.
I have to take that deal, right, Chad? I have to take that deal.
So I'll give you the opportunity to prove the value. All right. I'm not closing any doors. I'm just expressing a bit of apprehension from my personal experience. I've been there, done that, and dangerous. That's all I'm saying. I'm just pointing out how I see. I've many times been led down a dead end through this path. So I'm just saying, if you're going to say the path is right, you have to show me how it's right.
Okay. That's all. Fine. I'll try my best to subvert you into doing my bidding. That's poorly expressed.
But I'll let you have that wrong attitude. Okay, go ahead. All right, that's the way you want to interpret it. Fine, but I don't think that's what you're doing. I don't think. All right, I'm capable of being deceived, but I think you're too smart to be deceptive.
I have to kind of fuse both of those things, right, for it to actually be smart. So I have to kind of lie by not lying. Oh no, tell the truth by lying. That's what movies do, right? They tell the truth by lying. How's that
I'm just saying that I don't think you're going to be good enough at telling big enough lies, okay, to fool me. They have to be big lies to fool me.
Oh no, they have to be exactly the opposite, right? The Sasquatch, the little vine that grows from the Sasquatch's tail has these little berries that are this big, and they've got the solution, right?
Little berries sounds like rabbit shit or something, but whatever. Fine, whatever. Berries, whatever.
All right.
I smell, B5O fum. I smell bullshit coming. Anyway, okay, fine. Whatever that is, go ahead, play your chess me, okay, whatever, and see if I fall for it and all that kind of crap. But I'm just saying, I still don't think you're corrupt enough to play a corrupt game. So that's all.
Right. One closing statement from me. I'm so very sorry for what I'm about to do to you, and that is give you some kind of friend that's gonna be taken away. You know,
Some kind of what?
friend. I intend to become your friend. I mean, in a real manner. You know, probably sounds very surreptitious at this point. I don't even know what that word means. Why
Well,
do
I
I
don't know
keep
what
using
good
it?
it's going to do you. So I'm just saying, being my friend is like, I don't know exactly how you think that's going to be useful to you, but okay, fine. So I'm not going to come to the rescue. You know what I mean? Your house is on fire, and you call me up. Hey, my house is on fire. What do I do? And I'm just going to give you shitty advice, like, well, go outside and watch your house burn down.
It's kind of a passive development. You know, friend is a retroactively attributable thing, not a demanding term, I guess. So, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sorry
well,
about
I'm just
that.
saying that it's okay with me. I mean, I don't really, you don't have to trick me into that one. But I'm just saying it up.
Already did. Come on,
I'm just
audience,
saying it
audience.
up front that if you find utility in my friendship, you're really fucked up because
Fuck your utility.
there is no fucking.
Want your friendship for the sake of it.
I'm like a fork with no tongs on it. I mean, it's just not anything you want to go out and buy or say, look, I got a fork with no little forky things. Yes,
It's still a spoon, then,
it's
Gary.
not much of one though, is it?
Okay, so as I said, I'm sorry, and I'm looking forward to the next stream.
All right. So sometime in the next week, we will pick a day, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever, something day, and we'll try to do this in some sort of regular manner. And
That
which
would be
can
awesome.
choose to participate or they can choose to not.
Cool.
And we'll maybe pay more attention to the chatters, but it really isn't a point because they really are.
Oh, come on, challenge me. Be the trolliest fucks you can be, and I'll suck out the merit of everything.
Trolly. Come on, they are so tangential. I'm just saying they are never really on the subject. It's like we say all these words and they're talking about butterflies and they're just
Yeah, sure, but it's kind of on us, you know, to take care of the retarded people because we're smart-ish.
no. That's what I'm saying. It's saying you don't waste time on them. You
Okay.
find those ones who are capable of participation, like you. See,
If I can make him capable, they're not too
I'm
retarded.
investing in you, okay, where I don't need to invest in them because they're hopeless. But anyway.
Okay, but well, this is sort of a hostage situation, right? This is a package deal. I'll take all the retards, all the Muslims, all the fanatics, and get them into my party. And
Yeah, I'm saying that's good. That's good. That's something for you to do on your channel. Okay. Okay. I talk to retards. You do that on your channel, and I don't have to worry about it then. It doesn't have to get in my way and make a stink in here. I don't have to smell their farts. So that's great. You do all that stuff, and I won't bother with the retards. You clean up the drool and change their pampers and all that kind of crap, and I just won't bother. Thank you. Love it. Perfect solution.
Good. And I'll still manage to find consensus in that.
Okay, whatever consensus is, but fine. Consensus,
Cool.
consensus, whatever, useless word again. But anyway, okay, we're done. So anyway, till the next time when some of the same crap will happen, but it will be redundant in a new and interesting way, where whole new movies will be talked about and be very exciting, and there'll be all kinds of conversation about how hopeless and futile this whole battle is, and la 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 la. And so till then, I bet you can't wait. Maybe.
And such.
Yes, and such. So anyway, till next time. And thank you, really. Okay, even though you're retarded and all, you don't say anything smart and you're just useless. At least you make it look like at least somebody's listening and somebody's paying attention. So you have some feeling like this has got some kind of purpose because somewhere the little waves are bouncing in the ear somewhere and brains are going blah, 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 blah. So at least there's something. And so I appreciate that. Some acknowledgement is better than no acknowledgement, even though it's not very good acknowledgement. But anyway, till the next time. We're done. Last word is goodbye. So
bye.
Yes.
And such.
Yeah, and whatever. MICKEY. I'll miss you all so much. No, I really won't. You fucking cunt.